was an iceberg floating around. Oh my, are you sure? Did they tell me right? An iceberg. Why would there be an iceberg floating around? Well, oh, right there it is. And there's a little penguin on there. Well, I wore my hat. I wore my warm hat because I thought it might be cold since there was an iceberg floating around. However, it might be hot outside. That's what someone was saying. But when it's hot outside, you need to drink lots of water. And you have extra water bottles. So what I thought it would be fun to do a little estimating, a little cutting and taping, and make us a cool penguin. And if you happen to have foam at your house, maybe you've gotten a package delivered lately, maybe you could actually have an iceberg to sit on, or you could make additional penguins and make a cute little scene. So this is Sarah Poff and those art hands, and I'm here for another program for the Mid-Continent Public Library. All right, so I'm going to adjust my camera so that you can see me as I make the steps of the penguin. Let's see, because you need to see my hands. Okay, there we go. I think I'm getting better at this. Okay. So here we want to have our water bottle. This one does not have a lot of supplies, which is nice, and is things that you should be able to find commonly around your house. So I have an empty water bottle. I have the lid, which that's immaterial. The lid's nice to have, but you don't have to have the lid. First thing I'm going to do is just cut that piece off. Try to get as much of the sticky part off as you can. And I like to try to, take my finger in there if there's a spot that's smashed down. I used to collect these during field days at school so that we can make these in summer school. I always thought it was fun to think about something cold when it gets hot outside. All right, so then if there's still a little bit of water, see there's a little water lingering in mine. See if you can get that out. It doesn't have to be all totally out, but if you can get most of it out, that would probably be good. If not, it'll just absorb into the paper towels. All right, so then I have some paper towels. You could do toilet paper. You could do paper towels. You could do white paper. Any of those will work. I think maybe the instructions might have said white paper. So I try to give you a lot of different options that you can use. Now, to me, it's easier if I just kind of give it a little bit of a twist. And I did it on the diagonal, so that way it starts out being smaller. And then I'm just going to poke this down into the water bottle. All right, now I'm going to put some more in. Like I said, white paper works, toilet paper works, just whatever. I even thought last night, I was like, if you had shredded paper, you could even put shredded paper in here if most of it is white. Takes a little bit, and sometimes you might have to get like a pencil, and you might have to push. You probably want to push with the pencil eraser end, and then you might want a little bit longer pencil. Part of that's how full you want it to be, how white you want that to look. I think I wanted to put, earlier when I made mine, I put 4 in, and I thought 4 looked pretty good. So that's what I'm going to go for. All right, here we go with my pencil. The eraser end works best. Just takes a little effort there, not too hard. Just a little bit of effort. Twisting it again, poking it back down in there. There's lots of extensions to this project that that would be fun. It would be fun to, if you get a package, like I said, with the making an iceberg and making several different sizes of penguins, or penguins all over it, penguins sliding on their stomach, you know, just all those different kinds of things that we think of when we think of seeing penguins, pictures of penguins in nature. All right, so that we've got that done. I'm going to put the lid back on. Like I said, if you don't have the lid, it's not that big a deal. Now, the next thing we want to try to do is because the hardest part of it is going to be the head. This craft is probably not going to take as long as some of the others I've done. And so I actually did mine. I didn't tape it on there. I just pushed it on there and taped the layers around. That could be an option how you want to do that. So what I started with, black paper and the lid. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a square type shape here. Square rectangle type shape. And I want to put that in the middle. That pencil does not have any lid. So I'm going to trace around. All right, there we go. And then I'm going to estimate a square around that. It doesn't have to be precise. You can always trim it down later. It's better to have it too big than too small. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around. You can see my pencil line's real good there. I'm going to go around and I'm going to cut just ever so often. Because what I want to be able to do is I want to be able to bend it down so that it can fit onto my penguin's head. So I want to bend it down so it can fit onto the head. And if I don't cut enough, I can always come back and cut another one. So this is the fringe type cut. Just cut in till you hit that pencil line. All right, then the next step, you want to fold this piece up. See what I did? I folded it up, and I'm going to go around and do that on all the pieces. It doesn't matter if it stays up or it comes back down. What you're doing is you're creasing the paper so that we'll be able to use it on that lid in a minute. Now, if you happen to have black tape, instead of doing this step, because this is that head piece, you could take and wrap that head piece with black tape. That's a good option. I also took some masking tape and I colored it with a crayon. And that works okay. A permanent marker would be better, probably. The other waterproof base markers, it's not going to stay on there very good. But I try real hard because I don't know what supplies you have, and I don't want you to have to go out and buy a bunch of supplies. But this way, hopefully you have some of these things around your house. All right, so now I have folded it all the way around. You can see that. There we go. So it's going to look like this when I put it on that lid. I'm going to put the lid back on. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on here. Now, it's a little bit long in some spots. I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm going to tape it, and then I'm going to see what it looks like, and then after I kind of see what it looks like, then that'll help me know how long I do or don't want it to be. So I'm going to get a piece of clear tape. And I'm doing a little estimating here, because I'm estimating about what I think it'll take clear tape to go clear around the circumference of that. See if I can get this where you can see. So I'm going to tape this right on there. Now it's a little bit hard because you're taking multiple pieces and putting them on there. You know, some of them are going under, some of them are going on top. We're going to cover this, so if it doesn't look quite as good as you wish, just don't worry about it right now. Don't worry about it. Okay, so now I have the little lid fixed. The next thing I'm going to do is I took on this head piece and I cut a little strip to go around to cover up the tape. So I'm going to take my black and I'm going to do some estimating. I'm going to roll this around, oh, about like that. And about, let's see, about as wide as my finger, maybe a little bit more. So I'm going to cut a strip that goes across here about as wide as my finger, and I'm going to just cut it as straight as I can. The more you practice this, the better you'll get. If you mess up, just cut another one. That might not be in a school setting. That might be harder for a teacher or an art teacher to do. But in this kind of setting where you have your own supplies, it's not hard. All right, now when I taped, I got my tape a little above right there. So I'm going to trim that off. So now I'm going to see how this feels. I think it's going to be a little bit, taller than I want. Yes, it's a little bit taller. So I'm going to trim down. Always better to make it just a teeny bit bigger. Okay. Now to give it some surface, I'm going to put it like this. I'm going to hold this, and then I'm going to take the black paper around, covering up what I did before. All right, so now I need to get my tape ready. I like to practice before I actually do it. Yes, I like to practice so that I kind of know what needs to happen. Now, I don't want this tape to show very much, and I got this big old long piece of tape, so I'm going to cut just a little piece here. Put that other piece right there on the edge of the table so I can use it in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to start this. And I'm wrapping it clear around. When you're doing black on black, it's harder to see. So I'm wrapping this all the way around. Now when I did mine a while ago, I did a tape ball underneath, right here, because I don't want to see very much of the tape. And then I did just a little bitty thin piece to make it stay in place. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to take and make me a little tape ball. See how when you practice and it stays in that curved section, that curved position, and so therefore it is easier. And if it's harder there, this one is a little bit wobblier than the other one I made. So I think I'm going to put 2 pieces of tape balls, 2 little tape balls. This is one I used to have so much fun with in summer school. We had a great time making this one. It was so, when it was so hot outside, it was so nice to like just think a little bit about what it was like in the wintertime. All right, now I want, like I said, I wanted just a little bit there because I do want that to stay. All right, so I want that to stay. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to measure this. I'm going to, oh, I dropped it. Sorry about that. So see how it comes down? When I turn this around, it comes down. I can choose to leave some of that, or I can choose to trim. I think I'm going to leave these two, and I'm going to trim some of the rest. So I'm going to leave these two longer ones. I'm going to leave the one that's longer there that's on the underneath. And that's going to be a collar like for him. And I thought the name perfect because it goes with the penguin. However, they are not perfect penguins. The name of the penguin is perfect. Oh, you can only see part of what I'm doing? You can't, can you see my hands now? Am I better? Do I need to turn this down more? Is that better? Okay. Now, you see that? Okay, I'm sorry. Anytime, let me know. If you're having trouble seeing, let me know. Because I thought I could see it in my screen, but maybe I can't. It was when I was holding it earlier. All right. Thank you. All right, there we go. So now it's ready for the head. And so maybe what I need to do, let's see, when I do like this, I can hold it up like that and let you see. Now it looks like we still have one little piece. Oh, it's on this side. Things are backwards in the screen here. All right. Now, so I'm going to get my orange paper. All right, good. And I'm going to tilt this back down a little bit, and then I'll tilt it back up when we're putting the pieces on the penguin. Maybe that's what I need to do because he's taller than any of the other projects I've done. All right. We want to fix the beak. So I'm going to do a little like proportion wise. What do I think I want? I'm looking at him. I'm thinking about what proportions I have. So I'm going to over guess. I'm going to overdraw this for what I think he needs. And then I can always trim it down. Okay, I'm going to bend a little bit because I'm going to need a little bit of something to tape, an edge to tape there to the penguin. All right, now I'm going to tilt this up so that you can see him. Her, if you want it to be a her. And I'm going to get me a little piece of tape. And then I'm going to think about where that beak should be. Where the eyes are going to be, like right here. And then where do I want the beak? And then I'm going to take my tape. And I'm going to line my tape up. On that fold. Where I folded it, I'm going to line it up on that fold. I'm going to refold, and then I'm going to tape it to the face. Oh, wow. He has a long beak. So now I might want to trim it down. All right. Take it and turn it this way. Thank you, Anne. Thank you. Well, I just like to provide things that are really, simple and easy, that maybe the best success I have is when a child wants to do this on their own. They go, oh, Mom, we got more water bottles. Can we make another one of those? And the more they do it on their own, the better you'll be able to create things on their own later. Cream him up a little bit. Okay, now he needs some eyes. She needs some eyes. If you have a hole punch, this is the time you could use a hole punch. Also, the little rings that you use for notebooks, or maybe you have white stickers. Any of those kinds of things work. What I did is I just cut 2 little white circles. Excuse me, not circles, ovals. So when I do something like that, turn it back down. When I do something like that, I want to cut a big enough piece that I can cut both eyes at the same time. It helps because that way they'll be the same size. All right, so I folded my paper, and now I'm going to make a circle, an oval. Maybe you want a different shape for your eyes. We're trying to get the penguin enough like a penguin that somebody goes, oh, that's a penguin. But it doesn't have to be exactly. I know the other day when we had somebody, they put overalls on their animal, on their tube animal. And if you don't have a water bottle, a tube works good. A tube works good. Okay, so there are my eyes. And then I'm going to use a colored pencil. You could use a crayon, colored pencil, marker, whatever you have like that. You can choose the eye color, or you can just put a black dot. I always like to give a lot of, the kids need to make decisions. They need to make decisions on their own. And that's always something, the eyes are color, and the eye color is something that they could do. You could even decide you don't want him to be. This is a pretend penguin. He could have yellow eyes. All right. So I'm going to, there we go, bring him up. When you're working backwards here, sometimes you don't get it right. Because what I think I'm doing is not really what I'm doing sometimes. All right, he needs his eye to go up more, doesn't he? Let's turn this up. See if I can do it. Yeah, let's put his eye up a little further. All right, there we go. And by no means am I perfect about this. I always like to, experiment, see what else I can do, how can I make it better? How can you tell me something new or different that I could do with it? There's another eye. Okay, so now we need him to have some wings. And we're going to think about how proportionally that would look. What size is your water bottle? Your water bottle might not be the same as mine. You might like to try something different. You could also add him a bow tie. This down here almost makes me think of a bow tie. You could do that cartoon version of a penguin. So I'm going to take my black paper. Let's turn this back down. And I'm going to cut me a rectangle. Just out of the scraps I have left. Now, just like with the eyes, I want to be able to have 2 that are alike. So I'm going to fold this. You're going to want it to be leaf shape. You're going to want it to be leaf shape. So think about that. You can draw, as you saw, the pencil did good. On the one I made earlier, I did it from corner to corner. There's a whole lot of different ways you can do that. Let's see, can you see my pencil line? There you go. You can see my pencil line, I think. Okay, so now I'm going to cut that. So that you could also, with older children, you can take a white pencil, a colored pencil, a black pencil, see what shows up on there, how you like it, and go in and do some details of the wings. Look at some pictures on the internet and look for details and add some more of the scientific details there. All right, then what we want to do, sometimes people want to do it just straight down and they want to tape both. That, you know, this is a creativity time. You can decide, how do you want that? Some people want to just leave it and let it flap. So I'm going to leave mine and let it flap. I'm going to kind of give it a little twist. Well, I did it probably opposite to what it should do here. Like this. So he looks like he's getting ready to welcome us. I'm going to do the other one on the other side. They could be the same, but they could also have it different. This is definitely one that tape works with, that you want tape. You don't want to do glue. All right, so now he has his wings. He has his wings there. Looks like one's a little bit different than the other one. Let's see if I can change it like that. Oh, well, thank you. All right, now he needs some feet. We need to give him some feet, give him some color at the bottom. So just like we did with the wings and the eyes, we want to take and cut a piece that is big enough to contain both feet. So we're gonna, I have a rectangle. I'm doing the estimation thing. I'm kind of thinking about, you know, how big is he at the bottom? How big do I want his feet to be? This is what the sample looks like. As my art teacher always said, it's just, you want to do it enough like. I want this to be enough like a penguin that you look at it and go, oh, he's a penguin. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just, you know, you're experimenting and you're trying it out. All right. So we want this to be a triangle shape. Any particular type of scissors you recommend? I just use, these are just the kid scissors. Anytime I can, I use the kid scissors myself because I want to know what it cuts like. And I prefer to use kid scissors anytime I can get by with that, because then I don't have to worry about the safety with the children. With 2 pieces of paper, unless they're really young, they can cut through those 2. Sometimes kindergartners still have a little bit of problem with cutting through, but because it's folded, that seems to help. When I did snowflakes with kindergartners and first graders, 1 fold, 2 folds, it was 2nd grade before they could get on up to the 3 folds. That's been my experience with my time in the art classroom. All right. So I want a triangle. And then I'm going to add just a little stem. I don't know, it's not really a stem, but a little piece right here that makes it easier to tape on there. And then I'm going to do 3 U's. 1, 2, 3. If you want to do, you know, make sure it's more scientific, go look at the picture and look at the feet and see what you think. So the only thing you would need if you did this with a tube would be, that we don't have, would be an additional white piece of paper to just cover your tube with. Okay, now I fixed really big feet this time. They're actually bigger than these. Quite a little bit. So I can decide to leave that. Maybe he's more the cartoon version. I can decide to leave that, or I can go with it. I think I'm going to go with it. And then I'm just going to tilt the feet out just a bit more. Okay, so I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to tilt the feet, tape on this, and then tilt it out here on the bottom. Okay, so there's what his feet look like. Let's put him back up. Now I want to, because I don't like the way this looks. It looks like it's uneven. So I'm going to trim that straight off. And then I think I'm going to make him my more cartoon version. And I'm going to give him a little bow tie. Should his bow tie be orange or black? Anybody have a vote? Orange or black? I think I'll cut both, and then we'll see if anybody comments. All right. Move this back down so you can see. So I'm putting 2 triangles together for the bow tie. And then I'm going to make a circle in the middle of those. So I did 2 triangles together. Oh, somebody said orange. So I think it might just have to be that orange. Unless we have a race here on our hands. Anybody else want to vote? All right, now we could take a pencil, just add a few lines. Gonna give it a little outline. Guess he's all dressed up to go back to the North Pole. Because if he stays down here too long, unless he decides to go over to the zoo. If he stays down here too long, he might melt. Oh, we have somebody who says black. So we have a black and we have an orange. Is that the only 2 we have on there? Oh, we have 2 blacks. Oh, look at there. We have an orange, a black, an orange, and a black. We need someone to break the tie. I'm going to work on this black bow tie. Put a little color on there. And maybe someone else will decide to vote. I did think about the black as what we think about, you know, the penguin suit. When someone dresses up in their penguin suit. Okay, there's the black. We have a tie. Who's going to break our tie? That and that. Or I guess I could put a black one on one of my penguins and an orange one on the other, unless we have a tiebreaker. Maybe that's what I should do. All right, let me readjust so that you can see me do that. Bend it down just a little bit. Oh, a black! We have a black. Okay. I think the tiebreaker is there. All right, so we're going to give him a black bow tie. Thank you. Thank you for everybody who participated and voted. It makes it more fun when there's a little audience participation. So if you have any questions as we finish this project, oh, it's really hard to do it when you're only looking into the screen. Oh, see, I can't get him straight. We're actually going to put it down a little bit like that. If you have any questions, oh, let's trim him up. He doesn't look very good there around the mouth. So we're just going to give him a little trim. I'm glad you enjoyed this. I'm seeing some people talking about that they enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And I hope that this gives some children out there some fun. And some learning. And they can learn to do some estimation and some art and some crafts. Art and crafts kind of go together sometimes. Okay, here we go. All right. If anybody would like to post their penguins, I'm going to try to figure out some songs for my penguins. Put some songs down under there. Put some other penguins. I'll come online tonight and this afternoon, and I will see about commenting if you have yours listed on there. I want to give anybody who makes one some positive input. So you're going to put the bow tie on the head and make a girl. Well, shucks, we should do that with the other one. I don't know. Of course, our time is about out. But we could do that. We could certainly do that. You know, it's about having fun with it. It is. It is. And I always love watching the creativity part. All right, here we go. Should we just put it like kind of like that? It looks like one of those big bows they kind of put on the babies when they're first born. Oh, what a good idea. What a good idea. So now we have a Mrs. Perfect and a Mr. Perfect. Let's see, Mrs. Perfect. And she's going to be talking to Mr. Perfect. All right, this is Sarah Poff, and I had lots of fun with you all this afternoon. You have a great day, and I enjoyed working with my art hands. Sarah Poff and their art hands. She'll see you later. You have a great day now. Bye-bye.